When I heard that Barbarian filmmaker Zach Cregger was set to produce Companion, starring Jack Quaid and emerging scream queen Sophie Thatcher, I immediately assumed this movie would be a horror. Imagine my surprise as I sat in the theater, having avoided every single piece of the marketing and slowly realizing this is not a horror, but instead a sci-fi thriller. Companion, directed by Drew Hancock, stars Jack Quaid as Josh, who buys an AI companion who he names Iris, played by Sophie Thatcher, only to discover that his robot partner has gone rogue. Ever since I was a young boy of the age of 5, I would always lament the fact I likely wouldn't get to see a technological revolution in my lifetime, in the same way those before me got to experience the creation of the light bulb or the internet. Surely enough, I was wrong, and I'm not entirely sure how to feel about it. In the past few years, the emergence of artificial intelligence has been a great point of contention. It's a technology that has just as big a capacity for bad as it does for good, and perhaps Hollywood filmmakers aren't sure how they feel about it either, which is why we've been getting a slew of AI related movies and television, and that was before OpenAI even existed. Now, Companion is unlikely to introduce you to new questions and conundrums you've yet to consider about AI. Rarely is a Hollywood movie ever able to do such a thing. But it does grapple with the role of AI, specifically in relationships, in a pretty entertaining and compelling fashion. Jack Quaid has gained quite the reputation as one of the most likable nepo babies in Hollywood. And if there's one thing I love most about his performance as Huey in The Boys, it's how he's able to ground the insanely bizarre world of that series in humanity. Going into this, I expected him to play a similarly light-hearted role, and perhaps the filmmakers themselves are aware of this expectation, cause they set it up, play into it, and then flip it over its head in spectacular fashion, allowing Quaid to deliver an emotionally complex and unexpected performance. Sophie Thatcher impressed me with her work in Heretic, and she delivers what might be her best work yet here, bringing humanity to the character of Iris and distinguishing her from previous cinematic depictions of artificial intelligence. If there's one thing this movie shares in common with Barbarian, it's a commitment to constantly flipping the script on its own head, consistently switching genres, pulling the rug from under the audience, and delivering outcomes which you might not have expected, but still feel entirely natural and true to what was established before. It makes for an effective thriller, crafting a narrative which is naughty, while never getting tangled in its own complicated and intricate mesh. It's a movie that knows how to take radical left turns, while always knowing how to find its way back. If there's one problem which can be diagnosed in almost every weak thriller, it's a script which permits its characters to make nonsensical and dumb decisions for the purpose of moving the plot forward. A good, or should I say bad, example of this is M. Night Shyamalan's Trap. In comparison, Companion is one of the smarter thrillers we've seen in recent years. Regardless of whether or not they succeed is besides the point. The characters take the logical course of action to solve the problems they face, and when they make bad decisions, it feels less like the hand of the writer guiding them to the slaughter, and more so a natural result of the character's own blind spots and anxiety. Similar to John Carpenter's The Thing. There's a brilliant moment in this movie where Iris cleverly attempts to circumvent the built-in rule, which prevents her from telling a lie. With that said, there are logic gaps in how the science of the androids function within the movie, and there's a particular moment in which an android uses a piece of technology to emulate another person's voice, which I found thinly veiled and honestly quite contrived. Though the movie is described as a science fiction thriller, it can just as easily be classified as a comedy. In fact, I had an even greater enjoyment of this movie when I viewed it through this lens. It's funny in a way where the comedy arises from the situations and feels honest to the characters, as opposed to to insulting its audience with generic one-liners which you would find in a lesser movie like The Rock's Red One. Cleverly, the movie's humorous through line serves as a great distraction from its emotional core, and then before you know it, the feels are creeping up on you. The film subtly establishes its heart and culminates in an engaging, effective character and action climax, one which features one of the most satisfying setup and payoffs I've seen in recent years. When it settles into its form as a science fiction thriller is when Companion works best. The screenplay stumbles on its way there with an exposition-filled, clunky first act, which delivers its world building in a bland, dialogue-driven and encyclopedic manner. But when the movie kicks into gear, it just really works. It's a compelling, fun and funny thriller. There are some pretty interesting questions about the ethics of having an AI partner. And for that, I'm giving this one a 7.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for weekly TV and movie reviews. And if you've had the chance to watch Companion, jump in the comments and let us know what you thought about it. I'm Cinemike, and I'll see you next time.